everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to continue my saloon build. One of the details that I'm really enjoying putting together is kind of the typical saloon's piano. So I'm using cardboard that's about 1/16 of an inch thick. I also am using this balsa wood scrapbook paper, and then I just use little scraps of wood that are from like toothpicks, popsicle sticks, just cut down, shaved down to the right shape and dimension. I have my template. I'm just gonna start cutting our cardboard. So the most important thing is to make sure that this piece is on like one solid piece of cardboard with the corrugation going up and down. And like you can just draw directly on the cardboard. I just wanted to not be messing with any of the like bumps in the cardboard. So we have our backbone of our piano. All I'm gonna do is score the top layer. I'm not gonna go all the way through. Alright, so I have all of the main pieces cut for my piano. I have the main back side piece. I have the keyboard base, and then I have the upright face, which is gonna sit in front a little bit, tilt back slightly. Underneath, I have that piece. As mentioned in the previous video, the floor of this miniature is all made out of basically whiteboard material. You can stick magnets to it, and so I have a ton of neodymium magnets that I'm going to use for specific pieces of furniture so that those pieces can be moved around in accordance to what's needed in the campaign for that day. I don't know much about D&D, but I was asked for a little bit of variability. I am using hot glue simply because hot glue dries really quick. Because it's so small, it's hard to hold everything kind of in place. The whole time I'm doing this, I am making sure all of my angles are square and everything is level. I would hate to come to the end of this and have the keyboard just be like, meh. Right now I'm just trying to figure out what angle I want the upright portion of the piano to be, because I don't want it to be straight 90 degrees up. So I'm just like really subtly like tipping it back and forth, trying to find the right angle. And then after that, I'm gonna cut off the excess, and then that way it'll all look one style. It's not gonna look like a pew or a wingback chair or anything. It's gonna look like a piano. So I'm going to glue the keys on here and then wrap the raw edges in the front right here with Mod Podge. The kind of keys section is all Mod Podge, dried, all the raw sections are covered. All I have to do is create the lid for the top. I also want to be inserting magnet into the base here, and they're just these really teeny tiny neodymium magnets. So they're really strong, which means they're hard to work with. So my first step is to just glue this onto here and then cut it out. That way I don't have to do a ton of math. These are so small. They're really not strong enough by themselves to really pull through anything, but if I put them in hot glue and then sandwich the balsa wood around it with super glue, it should be fine. So I'm going to be kind of lining the outside of the piano with this same balsa wood scrapbook paper. Basically, I'm cutting it just slightly larger than the space it's going to go on. No! I thought I was filming with the GoPro this whole time. All this woodwork with no detail filming. So I'm just trying to clean everything up, get all the excess glue off, and get ready to continue cladding the piano. So I'm just putting a coat of white paint onto where the keys are. I'd rather put the paint down now before I get some of the surrounding trim and everything taken care of, because it's a small scale. Paint's messy. All that dries. Any good piano obviously has foot pedals, so we're adding them. I'm just taking an upholstery needle and finding the center, stabbing a hole. So I'm gonna cut some wire and shape it into just this little doubled over L shape. It's like a little foot. Gonna be able to shove this straight up into the piece and we'll be able to have petals. Okay, so we have our keys kind of all painted on there. I'm ready to start putting the trim around here to really define where the keys are. And I have all my pieces kind of ready to go. So I'm just using hot glue again, but you do have to be really, really careful because it does obviously squish out, and I'm trying to make this as clean as possible. I want to cover up like all the raw paint lines with this trim, and I don't want to get any glue anywhere, so that's our next step. Obviously there's going to be imperfections, but this looks so much better than it did 2 seconds ago, and all I did was add 2 1/8" strips of balsa wood. All of this is going to get a wash of paint. I'm not worried about this balsa wood being a slightly different color because it's just going to get covered up. So we're down to the last step, and that's just to put balsa wood on the bottom of this so that our magnets can be covered, and I'm just going to cover it up with using super glue instead of hot glue. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I really enjoyed putting together this piano and all of the other details that I'm putting into the saloon. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.